Good morning, everyone. Can everyone hear me okay? Welcome to the, is it February? The February breakfast.
Woo!
Yeah. Who loves their job? First of all, I wanted to thank Abbas and the team for getting up early and serving us breakfast. Thank you. So I guess channeling the theme, I love my job, I wanted to take a quick moment, Jesse, so just talk about a couple of things. Growth opportunities. So my story with Yankee Candle Village, I started in the maintenance department, I'm sorry to say, 32 years ago. I started when I was 6. You can do the math. And now I'm running the store. I'm the director of the store of sales and operations. So for me, personally, that company from Michael Kittredge days when I started up until today has given me incredible opportunities to grow. I think part of that was I was willing to grow. I wanted to be there for long term, but they gave me that opportunity. So that's what I love about that. One of the things I love about that company. The other thing is I'm at a place where everyone that comes to our store is happy. And I don't know if anyone can say that about their job. They come in happy. So our goal is to get them to leave happier. Similar to the registry. You go to the registry, everyone rolls in happy, right? Yep. Someone from the registry here? I'm hoping. Just kidding. But those are the two things I love most about my job. So I wanted to thank everyone for coming today, and I think I'm turning it over to Michelle. Michelle?
Good morning, everybody. I'm Michelle Dwyer. I'm the president and CEO of Franklin First Federal Credit Union. I just want to thank Jesse for allowing us to sponsor this breakfast. Once again, it certainly is my favorite of the breakfast series. I'm going to keep it super short so we can stay on time. And I'm just really excited to listen to everybody talk about how passionate they are about their jobs and how they can affect Franklin County. Yeah.
Thank you, Michelle. And thanks to Franklin First Federal Credit Union. So I was actually thinking this morning, it's fitting that they sponsor this breakfast specifically because you are hard-pressed to find a group of folks who love their jobs and love Franklin County more than that crew. It's right there in their name, right? Franklin First. They are always putting Franklin County first, and their support today is just one small example of that. So thank you, Michelle. And thank you all for being here. It's a windy one. Well, we made it. We got a great program for you today, and we're going to start with some new member welcomes. So please stand or wave when I call your name. So welcome to Patrick Rolfing of Mindful Painting. Welcome, Patrick. Welcome to new members Corey Wells and Amanda Page of Rovey Homes. Gina Noblet Gianti is with us from Freedom Credit Union. Welcome. Tessa Perry is joining us from Mass Hire / Franklin Hampshire Career Center. Hi, Tessa. And if at any point you're sitting here thinking, I don't really love my job, Tessa's a great person to talk to. So let me make that plug now. Welcome to Sabra Billings of Adams Donuts. Welcome, Sabra. And finally, welcome to Jackie Charon from Greenfield Cooperative Bank. Welcome, Jackie. All right, so in addition to some welcomes, we do have one farewell. So the bad news is that today is videographer extraordinaire Ian Hamilton's last day at GCTV. Ian, so this is likely the last time that we're going to see him behind the camera, but the good news is that hopefully moving forward we'll see him seated at a breakfast because he is just bopping over to our neighbors at Historic Deerfield. So congratulations, Ian, we will miss you. Thank you for all your work. All right, a couple more quick announcements. So first, I haven't seen her, but first I am thrilled to share that Linda Dunleavy, our very own Linda Dunleavy, has just been named a difference maker by Business West. So congratulations, Linda. If you know Linda, you know that she is a difference maker every day of her career. So we are really thrilled to see Business West make that officially official. If you would like to join us in celebrating Linda, you can join us on April 10th. There's going to be a dinner at the Log Cabin in Holyoke. So yeah, come and celebrate Linda and all her great work. And while you're on the Business West website, buying your tickets to celebrate Linda, you can also nominate an emerging difference maker, because today is the last day to submit nominations for Business West 40 Under 40. So as you know, I've said this almost at the last couple of breakfasts, we've had a really great streak of young professionals from Franklin County represented at those awards, and I'd love to see that streak continue. So I've nominated some folks, and I hope you'll nominate some folks as well. So they are due by 5, so don't wait. So next, Greenfield Community College invites you to celebrate and learn about the college's impact on a region with their Building Bridges and Belonging community celebration. That awards dinner is planned for February 29th and will honor several of our community members. All proceeds of that event support GCC and GCC programs. So if you are interested in attending, please see Alexis. Alexis, do you want to wave? There we go. And then also a thank you to everyone who came out and attended Jaduke's Resilience Rising community fundraising show last weekend. Because of you, we raised over $21,000 in 2 days for an outlet, and that's of course amazing. And also due in large part to the generosity from Greenfield Savings Bank, who underwrote that show. So thank you so much for everybody who came out and supported. It was a really lovely event to be a part of. And I will plug this early. If you are interested in joining the young professionals for that dance number, you can. I am proof you do not need an ounce of talent to participate. You can just get up there and try your best and it will work out. So if you're interested in joining the young professionals dance number, please see me. All right. And there's more great fundraising events happening in Franklin County this weekend with Arcapalooza, which will benefit the United Arc. That's happening at the Shea. Doors open at 7, and they're going to feature 5 different local bands and performing groups, so including TJ and the Peepers and John Wayne-Lovich. And they're going to cap off the night with a special performance by the Arcapella group. Isn't that cute, the Arcapella? Which is consisted of some of the members that the United Arc works with. So that's going to be a great event. That's this weekend at 7. And I think you can get tickets at the door. And then finally, we have a birthday in the house. So happy birthday to Michelle Betancourt of AH Wrist Insurance. I saw Michelle here, so she's probably trying to hide. Happy birthday, Michelle. Okay, so today we're talking about our jobs and why we love them. And if you have talked to me at any point in the last year and a half, you know that I love my job, and that's mostly a tribute to the fact that I love Franklin County so much. In fact, I think it's safe to say that it was my love for Franklin County that actually drew me to this work. I would not have this job anywhere else. We live in the best area in the world, and I am so grateful to be here. So it is an honor that I get to wake up every morning at 3:50 a.m. If you were at the last breakfast, you know what I'm talking about. At 3:50 and think about how we can all work together to make Franklin County the best it can possibly be. I get to support the success of my neighbors and friends. I get to help entrepreneurs pursue their dreams and start and scale small businesses. I get to serve on 27 community-based committees. I get to judge pitch competitions and Barbie cosplay contests and taste test new donuts. And I get to bop around to hundreds of events, a lot of times with abnormally large scissors, and join Marion and Sarah and our volunteers and board and our regional partners and legislators in celebrating Franklin County's wins. And through our work as a regional tourism council, I get to promote Franklin County and all the reasons why I love Franklin County on a regional, state, and national level. And then I get to watch visitors fall in love with the area and become Franklin County super fans the same way we are. It is the best job in the world. And if you come to these breakfasts regularly, you hear me say some iteration of that. So instead of going on with all the sentimental stuff, I am going to take a moment and switch things up and quickly tell you 3 secret reasons why I love my job. So first, the swag. I love sweatshirts, I love hats, I love that I get to rep Franklin County small businesses, and most of the time, justifiably call it office appropriate. It is my favorite. I love that with this job, I get a behind the scenes look at some of my favorite local businesses. Every single time I meet with a new member, I get an ESPN's 30 for 30 style snapshot of some of the reasons why our businesses are so special. So I'll give you a quick example. A couple weeks ago, I was meeting with a local gourmet chef and restaurant owner. And during our meeting, they were working on this craft cocktail, like a new signature drink. So at the start of the meeting, the drink had tequila in it and something else. And by the end of the meeting, it turned into a rum drink with squid juice. Now, all of this happened at like 11 a.m. on a Wednesday. So I did not dare try any variation of this drink. But it was fascinating to watch them like literally pour this creativity and passion into this cocktail. And, you know, they were considering things I've never even thought of. And as someone who prefers their bagel bites microwaved, I had absolutely nothing to add to this conversation, but it was really interesting to see the process. And so I just never know where I'm going to be and what I'm going to be doing on a day-to-day business, and that's my favorite. And then lastly, I love that the Chamber introduces me to hundreds of new friends and that my job is to introduce you to each other. So most of my day is spent trying to understand the challenges that you're up against and then connecting you with the people and the resources and the opportunities to help. I think we all know that no one on earth is self-sufficient. We have to depend on each other. And that's really what the Chamber offers. We want to help you grow your network, we want to help you save time and money, and we want to help you have a little fun along the way. So there's all these studies and research shows that people who are more interpersonally connected actually tend to live longer than those who are more isolated. So I'm not saying that the Chamber is helping you live longer, but the scientists are, and we should listen to them. So we are lucky to be joined today by 5 professionals who represent different jobs in different industries, but they all have one thing in common, and can you guess what that is? They all love their job. Good job, friends. That was great. So they love their jobs, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they love public speaking or PowerPoints, both of which I've asked of them today. So if we could just start by giving them a round of applause for being here. So first we have Jayne Trosin. Jayne is the Director of Fitness and the Director of Social Responsibility at Franklin County's YMCA. I got a sneak peek of Jayne's impact during a meeting last week when she presented to Bay State's Community Advisory Council, and I was so impressed with the impact Jayne's making and the way that the Y is strategically working to meet the social and health needs of every age of our community. I mean, they are just doing incredible work, and I know you will be equally as impressed. So welcome, Jayne.
Thank you, Jesse. So first of all, I do have to agree, is public speaking is not my forte. I hate it. I hate it so much. But the funny thing is I am a group X instructor, so that is my job. I get in front of people all day long, and I'm very familiar with the microphone. But so someone said, hey, well, why don't you pretend like you're teaching a class? So that's why I have the weight with me. So this will keep me on track. So thank you. First, I want to say that I am best known as Jayne from the Y. So if I've ever called any of you, I'm Jayne from the Y. That's it. My title is Fitness and Social Responsibility Director. My Y journey began when I was 11 years old, and my family moved from San Francisco to Greenfield. Now, Greenfield back in the 70s wasn't like it is right now. it was a little, we didn't have transplants, like people did not move. When we moved in the middle of the winter, in February, in a snowstorm, and we had never seen snow before. So my 4 sisters and myself, we quickly became ostracized and we were labeled weirdos. So, but the Y was right around the corner from our house, so we embedded ourselves into it. And unfortunately for me, I was not athletic or coordinated. It's something I have to work on every day still. But I hooked up into the Leaders Club, which is still an ongoing service program that we have at the Y. And as a teen, I used to work during the weekends running the scoreboards for our basketball leagues, which was really great. I also took riflery. I became a marksman first class. We did not do riflery at the Y, just so everyone knows. But we did it at our local Rod and Gun Club, and I want to say that was our first collaboration between the Y and the Rod and Glove Club. So my most formidable piece of the Y in my younger years was Camp Apex. I was a camper, I was a CIT and a counselor, and I loved every piece of it. And fun fact, in fact, all 3 of my children also went on the same path. And I like to say to people, young people just starting out, like, get a job as a camp counselor because it sets you up for life, because it's an invaluable skill that you cannot teach. You learn how to deal with children, get along with your peers, respect your bosses, and talk to parents. And that is a skill set that is missing nowadays. So I graduated from high school, I moved away, I went to Johnson & Wales, and I actually got my degree in hotel restaurant management, hospitality management. So it has served me well the last 25 years at the Y, because I feel like that's what I do, is I welcome people in and I take care of people. Thank you for coming to my house, because I think of the Y as my house. So as all the members, I like to be hospitable and welcoming. My husband and I had a good fortune of moving back to the area. My family still lived here, so that was good. I plugged back into the Y. I ended up just teaching Group X classes. We used to call it aerobics back in the day. And I had learned that skill while I was gone because I was a stay-at-home mom, and I figured out, I can get someone to watch my kids and I can get paid for an hour and I like it. So I came back to the Y and I did that. When my youngest was ready for full-day preschool, they had just started it at the Y, I also became full-time. And through the years, my hats have changed, the Y has changed, the Y has gotten bigger, our membership has changed, the trends have changed, the exercise machines, the formats, everything has changed, but sometimes things go back again, and so now things that were old before are now new again, and it's like, wow, we're inventing something new again, this is great, even though we've already done that. Let's see, so I wanted to lift up 3 things that I really love about my job, and just, I have to brag. So my first one, so please just give me a second, I want to brag. So I oversee a group of about 55 staff and volunteers at the Y, 451 Main Street, but also at 7 off-site areas in Franklin County. So we've just expanded, so we do off-site programming, which is really great. But about 95% of those people have they were regular Y members, and they had seen something in their own fitness journey that they were successful and they were ready to share it with others. Or they got the tap from me, like, oh, did you ever think about becoming an instructor because you are really good? So what we do is, so then we get the buy-in from people. We grow our own from within, which I love that. Because what they do is we give them the talent, the tools, the platform, and so that they can succeed. But I always like to start the conversation. Okay, first of all, I have no money, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to fuel your passion, and that is priceless. So from there, once we get them going, what they do is they impact our 3,000 members every day in little smiles or encouragements. And so I'm just so proud of the people that work for us. It's fabulous. But, losing my train of thought. Oh, no. So I wanted to just say recently, so for example, I know, they're just going to hit me. This is my Barbie weight, too. I have two trainers who said, hey, they are interested in strongman. I'm like, okay. I don't know what strongman is. I don't even pretend to. But I know this summer we're going to have a strongman competition at the Y, and someone's going to be pulling a school bus in our back parking lot. So I can't wait till that happens. I also recently I had an instructor who was interested in dance fitness. We haven't done that in a while at the Y, so I'm like, yeah, sure, let's try it out. Yeah, let's try it on New Year's Day. That could go either way if people are there. So the class was packed though, and I was super nervous for her, and I was praying, oh gosh, I hope this goes all right. But the music came on, and it was magic. She beamed such joy. Like, I can't describe it, but people were like so happy. I almost cried. I was tearing up. And even everybody in the room, who even the people that couldn't even get the steps, were just smiling. It was an intoxicating feeling that you just don't get it everywhere. So speaking of which, I also am a Group X instructor, which I already told you guys that. And what I like to say is we sell endorphins. So endorphins are, it's what you feel when you're doing exercise. So it's hard to get on your own. So I like to say I'm selling endorphins. But I in the middle of my day, I can get my own endorphins too. So I like that too. So that's why I like to teach. But I just want to lift up one more other thing. Is one of my favorite parts of my job is I'm part of a team that's called Prescribe the Y. Yep, here's your Y commercial right now. So it's a 12-week program where it's doctor referral, but it could be your nurse, your social worker, your psychiatrist, your parole officer could also refer you, because guess what, everybody needs exercise, no matter who you are, what you are. But so you would come over to the Y, and we would figure out how to put you into already existing Y programmings, which could be, we have over 88 classes a week. They range from everything from chair fitness to boxing. We have an exercise trainer staff that can train you up on machines. We have a pool. We do have a pool and a hot tub, which will make you feel good, and some other stuff. We have tons of other stuff, but the one thing I wanted just to lift up was we have new cardio machines. I have to give a plug to the cardio machines. They are your entertainment package, your treadmill, your bikes, your ellipticals. You get your individual TV in it. You can hook up to your Hulu account or your Disney Plus. We have different track screens. There might be, you're walking in Scotland, you're walking in the beach that day while you're walking on the treadmill, but there's built-in classes, think like Peloton, so any sort of exercise you can get there. Or you might want to just play Sudoku, and I like to say it's your entertainment package, so anything to take the boredom. So yes, I do need to say this too, is that exercise is boring and it's hard. So that's a hard sell. But I could go back to the consult. So in the consult, when someone comes in, it starts with, why do you think you're here? But what we try to do is we figure out someone's barrier to exercise. Is it cost? Is it time? Is it because it's boring? So we try to figure out the fun stuff. But the one thing I have to lift up too is that everybody is depressed. Everybody is depressed. So if we can sell them into working out, we give them a little bit of hope. So maybe take away your pain, even just for a little bit, and get you on a regular, regime of exercising. And so the hope is that you will feel better. Some things, we have the good, the bad, and the ugly at the Y, as always, but I am so blessed. I'm at the Y with my father, with my children, with my granddaughter. Now I bring her to the playgroup. What organization where you have all that generational? So I'm super blessed. I love my Y. Thank you.
Thanks, Jayne. And the one thing that she kept saying during the presentation this week is, we'll figure it out. So if you know someone who you think could benefit from the Prescribe the Y program, please encourage them to contact Jayne. As she said, they'll figure it out. The Y is doing such incredible work. I am grateful to be a member. I am grateful for their summer camps. I couldn't sing their praises enough. So thank you, Jayne. All right, so next we have Ryan Martin. Ryan became a licensed electrician at the age of 20 and a master electrician at the age of 22, and founded Current Electric in 2013. And then just recently, Ryan and founding partner Chris Kresman, Chris is here, want to wave, launched Current Energy, bringing their expertise of a full-service electrician to specialized solar installation and responsive load management. So when he's not growing these 2 business babies, he is raising 2 of the cutest babies you'll ever see. I don't know how he does it all, and I'm extremely grateful that he made the time today. So welcome, Ryan.
Good morning. Thank you, Jesse. When Jesse first asked me to talk today, I couldn't help but laugh out loud. She said, "Do you still want to speak at the breakfast?" And I said, "That's not what I said. I wanted to be a special guest bartender at an after hours." So
Still working on that.
this is quite a bit different than that. But second, describing my feelings towards my job with the word love, it's been a little bit of a stretch recently. Past 4 years have been like riding a roller coaster blindfolded. But thank you for Jesse for forcing me to remember that there are parts of my job that don't make me want to scream into a pillow. So my quick backstory, I was inspired by a family business and the best person I've ever met, Ed Martin. Some of you knew him. The guy was a superhero. He was my mentor, father figure, and I got to witness firsthand all the amazing things he did for people and the impact he made in the community. And that man is who I still aspire to be today. I started working summers for my uncle. I went to Franklin Tech, fell in love with the trade. I got my electrical license before I could legally buy beer. I learned I had more to offer than just fixing wires. I always felt like I could lead a team. So 10 years ago, I decided to branch out on my own, and Current Electric was born. I didn't know about the chamber back then, unfortunately, and I had no clue what I was doing, starting a business. I was looking for a book called How to Start an Electrical Contracting Business for Dummies. That book does not exist. The best advice I got was I actually went to an accountant in Northampton, a high-end accountant, with a handwritten business plan. Thought I knew what I was doing. And when I left that meeting, that gentleman said, "Don't do it, you'll fail." So I walked out with my head down, but it was too late. I'd already committed to it. So thankfully, because it was the best thing I've ever done. So what I do love about my job is helping people, obviously. Electrical wiring is scary for a lot of people. So whether it's fixing a small issue in somebody's house or helping people design an entire lighting and electrical layout for a new house, it's just very enjoyable for me to be able to go in and simplify that for people. I also love learning new challenges. The moment things get too easy for me, I'm always looking for the next thing. So a year ago, when Chris came along, I thought, hey, I've got a few free weekends, a 1-year-old, and another baby on the way. Why not run it back and start over again? The solar industry isn't completely new to me, but it's very different from the electrical trade. But it's been a lot of fun to learn. And the most amazing part for me has been realizing how financially beneficial it can be for customers and fellow business owners that we work for. But lastly, being in a position to give back to the community is what it's all about. Ed taught me that. It's not about Google reviews or seeing your name on a flyer. It's about making a difference in somebody's life. Because at the end of the day, that's what really charges my batteries. Thank you.
Charges his batteries. That was good. I love that. And I'm just going to go off and say I don't know who that accountant was that told them he shouldn't do it, but I'm assuming they're not a member, so don't worry about that. So next we are thrilled to introduce Laurie Lambert, who is the head of school at my alma mater, Stoneleigh Burnham School, and Michelle's too. Yeah, birthday Michelle. That's Stoneleigh. Laurie joined Stoneleigh this summer, and she brings over 30 years of experience as a teacher, administrator, and educational leader. Her career has included a broad range of academic, admissions, and administrative leadership roles at several outstanding independent schools across New England, and we are so glad that her work brought her to Franklin County I ran into two fellow Stoneleigh Burnham alumni this week, actually, and both were raving about Laurie's leadership and her commitment, not just to the school, but to the greater community. I think we've all seen that already since Laurie's taken over. I mean, Stoneleigh is out and about in a way that I think they haven't been. So I am really grateful for her leadership there, and I can't wait for you all to meet her. So welcome, Laurie.
Good morning, everybody. Normally the people I'm addressing are a little younger, but I moved to Greenfield this past June and began work on, I think, July 5th, maybe. I'm still described as the new head of school, and maybe that'll happen for a little while longer. And I love my job. I don't call it as much of a job as a lifestyle. Perhaps when you work at boarding schools, it's definitely a little bit different than the normal 9 to 5, and I love that aspect. But I also love the idea of being there in the evenings, having dinner with students, going to study sessions at night, whatever it is. I love that additional aspect of being in a boarding school. I began teaching in 1988. I'm dating myself, at a boarding school in New Jersey, actually. I grew up overseas. My dad was an Air Force lieutenant colonel, and then we settled back in Northborough. So grew up really from high school on, went to a big public school, did not go to private school, and realized at 22, I guess, that I wanted to go into teaching, but I hadn't gotten my license at that time. And so I ended up at a boarding school, and I never looked back, and ended up having a lot more education as well. But I love working with students, with families, with the amazing adults who serve in our independent school communities. And I feel so fortunate to be here. During the interview process at Stoneleigh Burnham School last winter, my first ever visit to Greenfield and Franklin County, actually, I had that sense of rightness. You know, when you get someplace and maybe you did this for work or college or whatever it is, but you arrive and that click happens, and you know that if this is going to work out, that this is the right place for you. And good things will follow. Like, you just have that sense. And I had that. Winchendon, where I lived for the last 8 years and was head of school for 6 of those, is a wonderful place. Just a little bit down Route 2, right? But a very different community. And I was involved in that community as well through the CDC and the local Rotary and other, ways of connecting. But it's also a lot more rural, right? It's a beautiful area. So when I got to Franklin County, I was like a kid in a candy store. I was like, oh my gosh, when Tony and I have our date night, we can actually go to all these restaurants, and they're so close, right? Having a real downtown and a cinema where we were last night, it has been a real joy for me to explore this area. And actually our youngest, who we're empty nesters, by the way, and so our oldest lives in Northampton, and our youngest is wandering the world right now. She's in Spain, because why not do that at 22, right? And so she actually needed a summer job, so she worked here at Terrazza, and actually at Hangar. To make money to go to Spain. So we've been settling in, we've been getting to know the area, and I've been getting to know my school. And I plan to be here a long time, so please know that. How many places can you live where you can actually watch horses jumping in a field, right? I live right on campus. I live right next to the barn, actually. I wake up every morning to the sunrise, the pink colors from across the road where the vet is, right? And at night, through my little sort of porch window, I see that beautiful orange as the sun goes down over our beautiful buildings. You can't get better than that, right? The setting is unbelievable. But what's even better is what I do every day. I have the opportunity to work with 105 students right now. Next year, it'll be back up to 130. And they are extraordinary. I have a wonderful group of adults with whom I work. But I want you to know that people think that maybe it's just a boarding school, that we only have students that come from all over the US and the world, and we do have those students. But we also have over 60 day students who come from this area. And I want to make sure that we emphasize that, because we are a school that is a community-based school, and that is really, really important to us. Our feet are grounded in Greenfield and in Franklin County. So what's not to love about my job? We are an intentionally small day and boarding school for girls. Our signature programs include a progressive middle school, rigorous academics, the International Baccalaureate program, which is an extraordinary academic program, and I'm going to tout it, it's better than the AP. An equestrian program with both hunt seat and dressage. And by the way, at regionals for hunt seat last weekend, our upper school team took the champions, right? And we have the dressage zones this weekend. So I rode a little bit growing up, but this is all new to me. So I am loving it, getting to know the horses, feeding them apples, knowing them by name, but also seeing the achievement of the kids on those horses. Really important to say, though, we are not just a horse school. We are many, many other things, including a school that has a champion speech and debate program that has competed at the World Championships for over 20 years. And maybe people don't know that, but we sent one of our students to South Africa, and she took home #1 in the US and #10 in the world last year. She's a senior this year. We also have incredible fine and performing arts programs. And for somebody who grew up being a humanities person, I love English, history, that's my background, but also theater. My mom was a theater director in Northborough, and I love the fact that we have these incredible art programs for our students, both fine and performing arts. In fact, our production of The Prom is going up tomorrow night, so we have opening night, and we're really excited. The kids are really excited, and we actually had a really amazing event earlier this year where one of the actors who originated one of the main roles in The Prom on Broadway and was Tony nominated for it came to campus to speak. So we're trying to bring people in. By the way, we invited the community as well, and we'll be doing a lot more of those types of events because we want to connect. We need to connect. And so we also offer wonderful athletic teams. Now we're small, but we're growing. Just 2 days ago, we took home the RVAL championship in basketball. So again, we have amazing kids. They're driven, okay? They're focused. They're not perfect, as no kid is, right? But they work hard. And it's great to see their ins and outs. So why else? Because I have the good fortune to keep the trains on the track at this incredible school and to make sure that we are known. I think actually that's a huge part of my job. And just say hello to my Director of External Affairs who does marketing communications. Deb Schultz is right there. She's with me. So she does a lot of that. We have a really inclusive community of people, dedicated faculty and staff, all of whom come from somewhere in this area. Because I get to think about education and what's best for our students when they're at Stoneleigh Burnham School and as they head off to college. 100% of them head off to college and into the world that they're facing today. The world has changed so much, even in the last 5 years. And the way we think about education and what we do in our classes has changed. And that's exciting. It's challenging, but it's exciting. Because we are a mission-driven school that is the merger of 5 different girls' schools over the last 155 years. Stoneleigh Burnham has been alive and well in some form for 155 years. And we call that our herstory, by the way. Our traditions. If you know girls' schools, we have bigs and littles. We have Mountain Day. We have Junior Ring Ceremony. We have 100 Nights, which is actually coming up because the seniors next week will actually be close to having 100 Nights towards graduation. We have something called Spurth Day in the spring. We have Founders Day. We have immersive learning programs called Wingspan. Anybody know what our mascot is?
I do.
Jesse.
It's an owl.
It's an owl. How many places do you get to walk in a gym and hear hoots, right? But so our immersive learning program is called Wingspan. Because 100% of our kids go off and are successful, and we get to hear about what they're doing down the road. We have really loyal alumni. Because I get to see students grow and challenge themselves every day, and I get to see them learn to lead. Because I get to work with students who are 12 to 18 years old, which sometimes gets sticky. But it's great to see them be able to move on from that stickiness. Because I get to represent the school in communities, because I'm always learning, and that's key to our community. Because I get to cheer on our teams, because I get to be a part of the arts at our school, because every moment matters in a school, whether you're in a private school or a public school, it doesn't matter. Every moment matters. Because we have a dining hall that is filled with delicious food, they work for us. It's not a big company that comes in, they actually work for Stoneleigh Burnham. And if you've never tried our muffins and our banana bread, you're missing out. Because my students call me Laurie, which is a pretty amazing thing, and speaks to that community. Because we firmly believe that you can be yourself at SBS, no matter who you are, and because we are small but mighty. Thank you so much to Jesse and the Chamber and our sponsors for allowing me to speak today. And, come see us. Drive down the long drive and come say hello. I'd love to meet with you. I'd love to see you on campus. Thank you so much, everybody.
I love that Laurie appreciates Franklin County for the metropolis it is. That is not what I usually hear when people say they relocate to this area, so that's fantastic.
Jesse, I was just going to ask, do your horses get upset that you chose an owl as your mascot?
Yeah.
I was guessing horse all day long.
Well, it's all connected. It's all connected in the circle of life.
So we're going to stay in the land of academia, but we are going to jump from high school to preschool. So Stephen Rickman is the executive director of the Learning Knoll, and the Learning Knoll provides program-based early education and care through its Greenfield and Shelburne Falls classrooms and its Greenfield summer camp. So I've known Stephen for a while now, and I have always been amazed by his leadership, compassion, and grant writing wizardry. I mean, he is amazing with what he can do with a grant application. But it wasn't until I recruited him for a fundraising trivia night at Four Phantoms last November that I realized that he actually knows everything about everything. So if you are trying to put together a trivia team, he's your guy. He is a secret weapon. We won. We dominated. It was amazing. But I know you're going to be as impressed with him as I am. So welcome, Stephen.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Stephen Rickman. I am the executive director of the Learning Knoll. Before July 1st of last year, we were known as the Girls Club of Greenfield, established in 1895. I love my job. Every day, I have the opportunity to look at the smiling faces of over 100 of Franklin County's youngest learners. I love my job because I get to be a part of an ever-changing puzzle and get to watch these kids progress in their life and learning milestones. I get to see these kids start with us when they are learning to walk until they go to kindergarten and sometimes beyond. I get to witness these precious moments of children trying to climb on me and get scared because they realize how far up in the air they are. My job allows me to be the person that I needed growing up. If you would have told me 10 years ago this is where I would be, I would not have believed you. I'm a transplant from the north side of Pittsburgh and am very much a city boy. As a third generation teacher, I was very comfortable with being an elementary school teacher. I know that might be a surprising fact about me, but as it was to my family, because they were like, Steve, you're so not gentle some days. How are you teaching little kids? As time went on, I decided to challenge myself by working with the littles. By being a leader, you get the chance to deliver knowledge, passion, and enthusiasm in a different way. My position has allowed me to be reflective of my experiences and to advocate for the changing American family structure. I love my job because I get to advocate for Western Massachusetts, which has not always been offered the same or equal benefits. I get the ability to provide children with the opportunities I wish I had growing up. I want to continue to be a part of the renaissance that is happening with the early education in Massachusetts. I love my job because of the connections it has allowed me to make, and that has helped me realize that childcare in this area should be a collaborative endeavor and not a competition. Being able to do the work with other nonprofits in this area has been a wonderful experience of realizing that we are all here for the same purpose. In closing, please support our youth to give them the Franklin County that they deserve. These kids are remarkable, especially with what some of them are dealing with on a daily basis. And we want them to know that they are loved and supported in Franklin County. Thank you.
Thanks, Stephen. So I do want to go on record and say thank you to our early educators and our legislators for their work in making some of the excitement that's come from the early education world and that progress possible. We need to pay our early educators more. They are truly doing God's work and making sure that all of our tiniest residents are okay. So thank you to our legislators and our early educators who are making that happen. So finally, it's my honor to introduce Captain Trisha Dana with Turner's Falls Fire Department. So when Trisha started her career, women made up only 1.5% of fire departments. I first met Trisha at the gym, and after being partnered with her during a workout and failing miserably to keep up, I just remember thinking how lucky we were to have her fighting fires and how scared fire should be of her. I mean, she is unbelievable and just as cool as she is kind. So welcome, Captain Trisha.
Good morning. I'm glad I actually wrote some things down this morning. I didn't realize the extent of this. So thank you for having me and welcoming to this. So like Jesse said, I started in the fire service about 25 years ago, started in Amherst, and there was other women in Amherst, so for me it wasn't anything new to see other women a part of the program. We know how progressive Amherst is, so it was not a big deal. But then I moved out to Franklin County, and there were no women. So that was new for me, and it was new for them to kind of have somebody come in and step on their toes and shake things up, and I appreciated doing that. And definitely then and still today try to give people a run for their money. So kind of like what Ryan said earlier, sometimes it's hard to find the reasons why I love my job because it can be very difficult. I work for Turner's Falls Fire Department. Our membership is 14 members, including the chief. So that's a small amount of people to do some heavy duty work, and we do it. Thankfully, we have mutual towns and cities that can come in, and we kind of help each other out, and that's what the fire service is all about. It's one of the reasons why I truly love my job. The amount of networking that I've been able to do with other members and other departments, you can't change that for the world. They really become family. I have raised my children in the firehouse, and that is not uncommon in a fire service. Kids grow up. That's how we have these. That's our recruitment, actually. That's how we keep them in. It's like we start them young. So I think I can remember my daughter being on the radio with me at one point. I'm like, "Can you write these times down?" And she's like, "Yep, I got it." So yes, it's family oriented. It's why I love my job. We are able to. Like some of the other members said, do a lot for the community. We do the MDAs, Fill the Boot, raising money for muscular dystrophy. We've worked with Jadook before, raising money for the Children's Advocacy Program. 1 year we did Warm the Children, and that's kind of really cool, where you can get coats for the kids and go into the school systems for these kids who don't have jackets. And that was kids don't have jackets. So to be able to do those kind of things, because it's so family oriented, you work together, and you can do a lot for your community. I'm glad I wrote this down. Like Jesse said, the other good part about this is I didn't know I would do this, but I do know that I liked the medical field. I do know that I liked physical activity, and I love that I don't know what I'm gonna get every day. It's a different office. I could be on the water, I could be in a burning building, I could be up on a tower, I could be doing confined space rescue, but I do know who my team is, and that's important, and goes back to the family. So it's exciting every single day. And in the last 3 years, I did make captain, and that was quite the accomplishment. To be a woman, I kind of put it off because I had babies, and I wanted to raise them, and they are now 20, and next week my son will be 18. And it was nice to they're used to their mom being a firefighter. It wasn't anything different, but some younger kids, some women never saw this before. So to go into the school systems and actually, I didn't really understand the impact a woman could make in the fire service, but to see these girls come up and be like, "I'm gonna be just like you." And I was like, that's kind of cool. That's an impact. And then I've seen these kids as they grow up, and they're like, "Hey, firefighter Trish," and it's like, "Hey, how you guys doing?" And to be helping them on some really hard days is, I'm very lucky. So, often I, am there on people's worst days. So if there's anything I can do to make that better, whether it's a hug or give them resources or say a prayer or just help them out or play with a kid, to distract them. It's a wonderful thing to be able to do that for your community. So as far as anything else that I have to say, I think that's about it. I'll leave those there. But I'm really happy to be a part of this. And thank you very much. So.
Isn't she so cool? So thank you so much to all of our speakers today. This is one of my favorite breakfasts of the year, and it's easy to see why. So if you would like to support our speakers, we know that a like, a share, a comment, a referral, it goes a long way. So please support our local businesses. And also come back and enjoy Terrazza's in the way that it's intended to be, which is not breakfast. Come back and enjoy lunch and dinner, and then give a Boz and the team a 5-star review. We're really lucky that they open early for us. So just one more applause for applause. All right, and of course, thank you again to GCTV and to Ian and Drew. We're really glad to have you here. And to our volunteers who got here extra early this morning, and to Sarah and Marion, I am so grateful to work with you. So please tuck in your strings when you hand in your name tags to Marion, and we look forward to seeing you all on March 22nd right here. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.